1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome into another episode of the Talkin G-MAC podcast. I'm your host, Katie Gilhooly, and I'm super excited to have Drew Johnson from Ashland University on with us today to talk a little football, but to talk a little some stuff maybe off the gridiron. Drew, thanks so much for taking some time to chat with us today. We're really excited to talk about what's happened to you over the last month or so.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, for sure.
Well, I mentioned what's maybe on and off the gridiron. If you haven't seen, Drew was named to the 2024 All-State Good Works team. So congratulations, Drew. What an honor. What was getting that news like for you?
It was incredible, and obviously the nomination from my coach and from the university in itself was such an honor. And to see the amount of guys, obviously so many teams send in people who I'm sure have amazing community service hours, amazing experience, volunteer experience. And so to be named as one of those 22 nationally was kind of mind-blowing, truthfully. I knew I had a lot of good experience and whatnot, but just I was looking forward just to, hey, the nomination is great. That recognition in itself in my community, either at home or in Ashland, was an honor. But obviously to be actually elected to the team was so amazing, and it's already been so great, so rewarding so far. So.
Well, and for those maybe who aren't as familiar with the All-State Good Works team, it's really something that the AFCA and All-State have put together to honor football players all across all three divisions and across the country for things that they're doing off the football field. Can you talk a little bit about what you knew about the program? I know there's kind of a long lineage of Ashland guys who've ended up on this team and have been selected to be a part of the Good Works team, and we'll get into that in a moment. But what did you know about this whole process kind of prior to being selected for the team?
And so, as you mentioned, this lineage, we've had multiple guys be chosen for the Good Works team, and even more recently, like I'm the fourth in a row. And so we had a tight end, Austin Phillips, and we had Austin Brenner, we had Trent Maddox, and all of those guys are guys who, me being an academic senior, redshirt junior, I've played with those guys. I know those guys. I went to Bible study with those guys. All of these guys are people who I extremely look up to, and I know the impact that they have left in Ashland and in their individual communities. And so I kind of knew just about what it somewhat takes to be elected to the team, whether that be the community service hours, the election from the coaches and from the university. But other than that, in terms of the actual process of being nominated and being elected, I was very out of the picture, which was what was great about it, truthfully, for me, was when I was nominated, it was, hey, send us all of this stuff in terms of the community service you've done and everything like that, volunteer hours. And then it was just waiting. And like I said prior, that just being nominated was awesome. But then now being elected and being able to have this contact with not only the great people at the AFCA and All-State, but then also these guys who I see playing in huge games on Saturdays. These D1 guys, D3 guys, D2 guys, everybody who has been elected, these 22 guys, has been awesome, and already being able to connect with some of these guys either through our trainings or through different things that we've just talked about with community service and whatnot. So it's been it's been awesome, way greater than anything I could have thought I would be experiencing right now. So.
one of 22 selected for the team. There were 178 nominees, so it's obviously an honor and something that, we're super proud to have someone from the GMAC once again and someone from Ashland selected to that team. You talk about the lineage, you talk about Trent and those before you that have come. How important is community service on the Ashland football team? And to have such a lineage of guys who have been involved not only in the Ashland community, but your communities back where you're from. Um, is that something that you guys talk about on the team? And how have you guys, maybe some of the Austins before you guys really set the tone, for maybe some of the guys who get involved in the community, and on campus?
Yeah, and I know our Coach Geyser, has really implemented in our team. Everybody each semester, as you're a part of the team, you have to have 6 hours of volunteer work or community service. Not stopping at six, but at least six, because he knows and we know as a team how important it is, with the platform that we have in Ashland. There are a lot of kids, there are a lot of people in the community who look up to us, not only because we go to Ashland, but because we're on the football team specifically. Football being as big of a sport as it is, especially in a conference like the GMAC. So we see that kind of influence, that kind of platform that we have. And we also see with that the importance to use that platform, for good. And so volunteering and showing our face in the community and helping out in the ways that are, other than entertaining and showing you guys what we could do on a Saturday afternoon or night, and instead also being in the community and helping out where we can, to show that we care about the community. And even the guys before, like Austin and Trent, who have really, set not only doing the 6 hours, but going above and beyond in the places that you see. For me, last year they really needed help, at my church that I go to here in Ashland with youth and volunteering to teach the youth on Sundays. And that's something where, hey, yes, it's volunteer hours, but at the same time, I personally love and enjoy being able to talk to people about faith, and even, bring people, like youth, kids, and talk to them and try to help them understand, and seek God's wisdom and His knowledge and in a relationship with God. And so those opportunities are things where, yes, they count as volunteer hours, and we'll write them down, but we're not doing them just to write them down or just to say, hey, I got my 6 hours done. No, it's about actually investing, in this community that has invested so much into us. And I think everybody who, has any type of volunteer hours that they really, have loved and enjoyed, like that is our mindset, at Ashland. And I'm sure for most GMAC schools, it's the same as well. So.
You mentioned the work at your church. You have a long list of places that you've given back to, and I saw, some of that starting back in your hometown of Van Wert. Where did your passion for service come from? Did it start back then, and maybe the influence that you were able to have on your hometown community before you were able to get to Ashland 4 years ago?
Yeah. First of all, the joy in servanthood comes from the Lord and from the Spirit, and being able to help my community, or help, especially like in the churches, all that joy, in either sweat and work, or just having to sit down and have some conversations with people. Anything that pushes or enlarges the circle of disciples is worth anything of that. So that's where a love for servanthood comes, seeing Christ and how he served, and wanting to serve like that. But then at the same time, just in the same way as Ashland, and being an Ashland University, uh, student athlete, I have, some kind of influence. I knew back in Van Wert from a very young age that, if we excel on the football field, we're going to have eyes on us everywhere, and especially from little kids, people wanting to grow up and play football like me, like my teammates. And so having that kind of, I wouldn't say target, but instead you have these little eyes on you and you want to do what's best to for your community by helping show those kids the right way to lead. And a lot of that leadership is servant leadership. And I think those opportunities that I was given in Van Wert, whether through my church and youth and mission trips and Operation Back to School, which is a great program that we do at First United Methodist Church, or just anything involving going into the schools and talking to these kids, dressing up as a superhero, anything that I was able to do was out of servanthood and obedience to the Spirit, but then at the same time, just because the community, like I said, has done so much for me, I want to give that back with joy, and of course, I just love to make people laugh and smile. So any way I can do that, hey, I'm up for it.
Well, what a wonderful testimony and a wonderful example that I'm sure not only you set in Van Wert, but you've continued to do in the Ashland community. I want to ask, now that you've been placed on this team, you talked a little bit about training. What does it look like? What's next? How does this all work? Have you gotten to talk to any of the other 21 guys on the team? And what are some of the cool things you might get to do moving forward as part of this 2024 team?
Yeah, and I it's almost, the communication has definitely been great from Allstate. I'm honestly, I've talked to one of the representatives. I've almost said, hey, like some of this stuff that we're going to be doing later on, I kind of want to keep it in the dark a little bit until I really need to know so I can plan. But knowing based off of what the guys, prior to me have, having an opportunity to go to the Sugar Bowl or to go down to New Orleans, those kind of opportunities, I'm looking very forward to. And then the relationships, I've talked to Trent, who used to be my roommate actually last year, so this is pretty cool, is just talking to him about the different relationships that can be built with these other guys. And these are people from literally everywhere on in the United States, on the map. So to build these relationships either in Christ or just friendships, just saying, wow, like I see, and I've read up on some of the things that these guys have done in their community on the Allstate ESPN / Allstate on that website. And I've seen these things that they've been doing in the community. And I can look at these guys and be like, man, like I really appreciate the things that you're doing in your community. Why do you like want to do these? What is pushing you to do the same way that I figure any of them would ask me? So we have a great group of guys. I'm really, really excited to in the future just getting to know them better and creating bonds that break just football, but go deeper into who we are as people. And obviously that's what this Good Works team is all about.
Well, we're really excited for some of those future endeavors that you might get to experience. And you mentioned the trip to the Sugar Bowl. I'm sure that will be loads of fun in January. But I would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about Ashland football before I let you go. A big game for you guys this weekend, the 100th homecoming at Ashland University. You guys are unbeaten in conference play so far. A couple tough losses for you guys to start the season, but able to bounce back. What can we expect from the Eagles as the clock keeps ticking and we're looking for maybe another playoff berth at some point?
Yeah. You can expect us to go out on the field and execute. I'm not somebody who's going to sit up here and say, hey, we're gonna win, we're gonna do this. But the way that we are practicing, the way that we are preparing, we prepare to win as every team does. So we're looking forward to the opportunity and the chance to play Saturday, to honor God with our play, and then at the same time just play loose and play free, and really try to go out there and just execute and put another win in the column. So.
Well, we appreciate your time today, Drew. Good luck this weekend on homecoming and the rest of the year. And congratulations once again on all your hard work, not only these last 4 years at Ashland, but everything that came before you, because I know that helped shape the person that you are. And we're excited to have you representing the Great Midwest on the 2024 All-State Good Works team.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.